So good evening all. I think it's going to be a relatively interesting conversation for us. There's unlike a few other discussions that we had, I think this does not have a lot of prep that has gone into it because we said we'll take it free flowing. So I think the focus that we're really looking at here is to say what really happened as part of the transformation and what has been its impact on the continuity of the transformations that took place. Maybe we'll just start with Balasandil. So what really, struck you as something that was, that was super unique about what happened during the pandemic, which is still sustained because, we did a lot of things have come back to where they were. But what is it that surprised you saying, man, I didn't expect this to continue, but it has continued?
Hi, good evening, everyone. From a tech point of view, last couple of years, especially thanks to the two important technology, one is cloud and the other one is SaaS-based tech solutions. So these two have made almost all the core lending solutions and ERP being made available anywhere and everywhere. And it just post-pandemic, though these were available pre-pandemic also, just post-pandemic, this has forced both the internal users and as well as customers to adopt. So I see this two technology playing an important role in the coming years. However, no amount of technology can replace a human touch or especially in the customer-facing service business. So I see this as a tech enablers rather than replacing the human touch completely.
So, and Prasanna, how do you see, what has changed and what has stuck in spite of things kind of getting almost back to normal now? I think just like how we are all sitting here instead of doing this online.
Absolutely. So I think when we started a pandemic journey way back in March 2020, on the start, some of the questions were there in front of us that how do we operate from a home, right? Typically not for employees, but those employees who are at front offices, right? Who are taking care of our customers, who go to the customer, handhold them, bring business lot of to the bank, right? And moreover, after bringing business, they are always in touch for any of those cross-sale, upsell, and so on and so forth. So I think that was a right and challenge, although an opportunity for us. So that was the one thing which we have seen before pandemic. People used to do a lot of manually. During pandemic, as he rightly said, adoption of a SaaS products or adoption of some of those engaging models or products was at a high scale, right? And what is now we are seeing now rather stuck now. Employees or front offices are now already learned how do we live next life on top of these products or platforms and so on and so forth. So in my view, we are not stuck back, but although we are now looking forward because every organization has a now next orbit. What we have seen, we were at this orbit in 2019 or at the end of 2020. Now that has surpassed to this orbit. Now this orbit says you should have a better people, better skill, you should have a better processes enhanced by some kind of a technology, and even regulation is now supporting that innovation. So I think we have already surpassed that orbit which we were living in 2019 or start of 2020. Now challenges are different and now requirements are different because your customer has already moved ahead. So you can't go back and say, let's operate on a manual mode because customer is already seeing what has happened on a cross industry, right? So they are looking their movies on Netflix or Amazon Primes. They would just like to have all of their services on a mobile plus platform and rather wherever they go. Say example, they are on Swiggy, they would like to have some kind of financial assessment or on Make My Trip. So a lot of things are happening, a lot of integrations are happening, a lot of financial services going out of the bank to these platforms. So I think that's a beautiful journey here onwards. Let's see.
So, but do you have any fears that, if I were to ask you saying, hey, what are the 2-3 fears that you may have that saying, I hope that these things don't derail that journey. So would you have some things where you want to be a little cautious, be a little cautious about?
Not really. Considering employee engagement, what has happened, so earlier it was quite a lot of manual. Now a lot of platforms are coming. As such, there are no fears, at least at an organization level. We know if there are some fears, how do we mitigate that with any of those available solutions, right? One of the fear we could say that how do we really enhance the employee productivity? We say, okay, work from home, they started working from home, and what we have seen, the kind of efficiency in early days and kind of efficiency these days. So that could be the problem, or that could be the area to be addressed. Right, so how do we address that? There are a lot of solutions are available, so, but it's not a fear as per se, because if I say fear, it's a question of existence or a sustainability. So I think as a bank, we are always ready. How do we sustain this? Rather, bank Indians know how do we really sustain around any of those fears. Now today, there are a lot of questions around skill set. There are a lot of questions around how do we have a better business model, while there are your competition collaborating entities like fintechs are coming in. The kind of a product I was selling on my mobile banking platforms, it is already available on now Google Pays, Phone Pays, or even we have opportunity to create another business model the way we have seen Bob World or Yonos. Now they are also fintech within a bank, right? So while there are players as a fear coming into our life, but there are a lot of answers to also on that line.
Sure. So do you see any challenges that way in terms of things sliding back?
A couple of challenges. The first is the data security, especially whenever large organization, especially who are in a regulated, sensitive business, when they move out from an on-prem to a cloud or a SaaS model, there's always a threat on the security. So that is the biggest challenge. For that matter, any BFSI or any fintech operating in this space, that will continue to be a challenge. The second one is the change management. We have Salesforce as our CRM and tool. The biggest challenge for the management and the leaders is how do we make our frontline sales force and the rest of the internal customers, employees to adopt technology. So it will remain a challenge ahead also. I think this we may have to inculcate that as a part of a organization culture.
So in a nutshell, if you look at the challenges for any of the banks or organizations, based upon bank to bank, the challenges differ. But generically, as you rightly said, data security, how they are integrating the partners, is it a secure way, and what is that business model will bring on, as well as another challenges could be like what type of operations they have, right? So what type of a manual process they have, and how much cost they are incurring while they are adopting with earlier we spoke about RPAs, AI and all stuff, right? Because there are new end bank, they already come with a digital first culture. People are already adopted with a digital first. Bank which is having a 50 plus or more than that, they have a challenge of legacy processes, legacy people, and how do we compete with these upcoming fintech tech companies, right? So challenges will be there, and these areas to be nurtured. There are other challenges, skill set, right? So before 5 years, we were not having that skilled IT security officer. Today we have ethical officer, ethical hackers, right? Or there are additional roles which are buying in around user experience, which was not there. I think banks are adopting and they are looking at rather challenge. Yeah, these are all the opportunities where we need to really work upon. I think a lot of technologies are coming in to surpass these challenges. A lot of innovative business models are coming in, like fintechs are coming in to bring a lot of customers in one go. And a lot of other things are coming in, like apart from technology and internal roles are changing. People are adding more role like data officers or digital officers or innovation officer, which was not there. Say example, if you say, how do we innovate while I run my IT? So they have created another role or unit. Or how do I adopt big data or AI? So there are additional units are coming up. So there are challenges certainly, but we have always some answers or some way out.
See, the other question that I had was, see, now we are all talking about digital journeys where we are saying, customers are moving digital, the whole organization is moving digital. Then what do salespeople think their role is? So one is, we know that salespeople are going to be there, etc. But what have you seen the reaction of sales teams to things moving forward, where all of us are envisioning a digital journey for the customer? So what do you think is happening with the sales team, and what do you think, what is going on with them according, from what you're seeing?
Sure. See, tech will continue to be a facilitator, for especially the field sales staff. Maybe if you go back a few years, maybe a decade back, largely the interaction with the field sales and the customer is depending on the brochure and literature. Today we have tech solutions where you can interact with the customers, you can run them through on your product, and with the instant, based on WhatsApp or SMS, you can send the brochure, and customer is also quite comfortable in going through the pre-onboarding journey. So field sales will remain, it will continue to play an important role, especially in service customer-facing business, and I foresee tech playing an important role in facilitating them. And it's up to the organization how we leverage technology rather than replacing the human touch with technology.
I think just to support what Sir said about, so I think sales gonna be there, people gonna be there, but their responsibilities are getting elevated with the help of these tech platforms. Like earlier we used to go with a brochure, paper, right, and stand there and talk about this product, or it was quite a lot of manual efforts. So what is happening? So other auxiliary technologies and those products are already making the life easy for salespeople. There are a lot of digital ads which comes for a particular brand or a particular bank. It makes easy for that customer to adopt any of those banking products. Moreover, those CRM tools or some of those tab-based or mobile-based apps are now giving all the GAN of your bank or all the products available on the file. Moreover, you can simulate the experience, right? So if I'm going for a loan, how long it will take, how much interest it will be there for 15, 20. So I think these tech platforms are coming and helping a life of a salespeople. Here the challenges will be how do we really measure the performance of salespeople? Right, so while we used to see how many customers he has bought in and how many customers converted as actual customers and how many customers are still there. So I think again technology play a major role to create a kind of some gamification among these sales guys, right? They are on the field and who is really performing well, and maybe I can help them. Yes, if you have to perform well, you have to behave like this another player or another sales guy. So there it's earlier it was a manual, people used to direct, why are you not doing like that guy? It was all manual notifications or manual nudge. Now it will be more and more incentivized as an automated nudge based upon what data they are bringing. How much he has done in the past 1 month. So that example will be an example for other 5 guys. If you behave like this on the system, you will be able to reach there. At the same time, these guys has another additional result area. So I think technology is playing major role. A lot of new platforms are coming with these kind of additional features. Yeah.
No, I like what, the way you put it, where you said the responsibility has gone up on them.
Yeah.
Because I think they have a lot more things that they can use to drive, what they were doing. And I think the onus now becomes on them to say, hey, there are a lot of
it's
tools
like a
now.
continuous performance measurement can happen on these tools.
No, that makes a lot of difference. So has anything changed with, the customers? For example, we spoke about salespeople going and kind of still having these conversations, but how do you see, for example, your customers taking to things opening up?
See, it depends on the business you are in. If I have to give some references, maybe a no-frill savings bank account or a small ticket personal loan, where the end-to-end, right from onboarding and dispersal and post-dispersal service can happen digitally, and customers are okay with that. However, when we move up ahead in the value chain, maybe a large ticket loan or a home loan, where customer, however technology you bring in, even if you make all the information available on the web or a mobile app, still customers prefer to have a face-to-face. So, in fact, my take is it depends on the product. So we'll continue to leverage digital for small ticket, instant personal loan or a small no-frill savings bank. For large ticket size, we will leverage technology and we will have a field sales face-to-face approach.
And moreover, it all depends upon in which area we operate. Are we operating in a village or a tier 2 or a city like Mumbai and so forth, and how much educated is customer already? Right, some customer already knows what the product they have to buy because they keep hearing from, because I think it was a era in 20 years before we had to go and tell there is a product in fixed deposit and within that this much interest, right? Today, a lot of marketplaces are available which will tell you which is the better rate of savings or loan or FDs and wealth and mutual funds and so on and so forth. So now it all depends upon what type of customer you are serving, what type of generation you are serving. Maybe after 5 years, I'm not sure how we will, what is that we will do with the sales force which we have, right? Because it will be all automated. right? People will have that kind of a privacy or a data privacy, personal privacy. They would not like have somebody to call you unless they said, yeah, I will open up my phone window for only 2 hours, wherein people can call me. That kind of automation certainly will come on the customer side, because those are the next level customers. So I think it's a time these all tools will come into our life. So it's gonna be a beautiful, rather very tough journey for sales guys. Rather, it's all available for a customer to adopt or choose any of those products from banks or wealth companies or insurances.
See, just to add upon, from an ecosystem point of view, even before pandemic, there are adequate digital capabilities available. For example, the Aadhaar India stack. In lending business, you can pull the banking information digitally, process, throw out the output digitally. Even the GST, all the APIs are in place. It just post-pandemic, all the companies in this space have adopted this, and the usage has gone up. Otherwise, the ecosystem today largely facilitate to carry out the business digitally, end to end.
So is it fair to say that outside of the digital and tech teams, the rest of the business realized that these existed and life could still carry on with these technological innovations that are already there?
Maybe it's a forced phenomenon after the pandemic.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. So I think this was a nice chat that we just wanted to have around how digital transformation had transpired. So I think we're running out of time, so we'll just have time for 2 questions. So in case anyone in the audience, has any specific questions for the panelists, you can kind of throw them. So of course, we also have an opportunity to interact offline with, all of us. But in case if you have any specific questions for the panelists here, we'd be open to taking them. How much do you think going vertical? Going vernacular would help. The question was, how much do you think going in the vernacular direction, vernacular language direction, is going to help the financial service business?
Yeah, it is already going, right? So the best practice these days, we have seen any bank come up with an app. Within and outside, it always has that extra angle, right? Apart from Hindi or English, there are other languages are coming in. Moreover, not on the app, even contact center, right? So from where he's calling, so automatically that language or that particular contact center agent will be in that different language he will answer. And now it is going on to the automated way. What does it mean? That before hand-holding that call to the actual human, there are softwares or there are technologies which will take you to that particular vernacular. And a lot of maturity has happened in last couple of years, and we'll see, I know some of the tools, we cannot really imagine that who is really speaking on the other side. I think it's all about the customer personalization. While he is onboarded and while onboarding he chooses, says, I would like to have a response only in this language. And it's all about that bank and organization, how do they want to create, what greater level of personalization they want to do on all the channels. Today, some of the platforms are already available in English. Say, example, WhatsApp doesn't have a other interface, right? Although within that, you can always talk. So I think it's one of the user experience angle, apart from many other things. So vernacular has to be there. It depends upon the kind of a stack they have built within, or how much partnership they are building. Some of those tools are available. That's how it works. But certainly in Indian context, we have a variety. A different set of customers are there, and to support that within an organization, there are different set of units within a contact center. You see different language experts are there. Moreover, while we onboard anything on a website or mobile apps, internet banking, we make sure that based upon geolocation, that particular context is available. Yeah.
Why I asked this was when I went through the various banking websites, I saw that they are available in English or mostly in one or couple of languages, not more than that. That was my question basically, why they are not going in the complete vernacular way. Yeah,
but and that's what it depends upon journey. For example, DCB Bank, mobile banking app in 8 languages, right? That's how we look at it. You look at YONO, look at Paytms, look at SBI, right? So every bank has its own journey and importance towards their customer. And primarily, every bank has understood this is the one important area which needs to be taken care. So it's a journey. It will not happen immediately, right? So for every bank, but most of the bank will see how it happened. Now another angle to your question. Another angle to your question, like in 3 years, while I am operating on my mobile banking or internet banking and any of the channels, my services will go out of my banking, right? So it will be on some fintech platform or some kind of a Google Pay or Phone Pay, and I don't know, anybody can start those marketplaces because we don't have that kind of a regulation today. So I think there also we should have that kind of a support, right? So it's happening, right? So whoever brings on that, but at the same time, your customer is also so intelligent. They are not glued only with the local language. They are also learning, and it's not, that's what, at least Indian context, they are also learning, and they have started adopting WhatsApp out of nothing, no user manual, right? It's all about what technology is coming in to us and how intuitive user experience is there on those form factors. Tomorrow's form factors are going to be without devices. How do we take care of that? Invisible form factors, augmented reality, or metaverse, right? So there it will be, those avatars will be talking to the local languages. There again, play of a technology. So it's a journey, right? We want to catch hold first, taking risk, doing research. That's how it works.
Understood, yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, so with this, thanks a lot, folks. Appreciate your time, and it was great talking to both of you.
Thanks, Arun. Thanks, Prasanna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.